Alright, so here is a tour of the dahlias and zinnias that are soon to be dead with the freeze coming to Utah. You can see there are lots of my dahlias that have not yet bloomed. That's one of them. It's just on the cusp of blooming. A lot of them are about there. So if I stand back, you can see there's a lot of zinnias that have filled in, and behind them was supposed to be a tall row of dahlias. The zinnias are reaching 6 feet tall. You can see bees come and just lay, rest, and sleep on the blooms. It's amazing how often all night long bumblebees will sleep in here. Anyway, you can see more dahlias yet to bloom. Bloom forming there. Look at that big stalk. Look at that thing. That is gonna be beastie. That's Emery Paul. It's a big raspberry colored bloom. It's one of the biggest dinner plate dahlias that exist, and it hasn't bloomed yet. It makes me just super bummed. Anyway, another one here, held up in a cage. They all are caged like this. That is caging. That's wire, the wire that they put into concrete. So I purchased 3 rolls of those. The first time was about 5 or 6 years ago. Cost $100, and then in 2019 or 2020 they were $150 a roll. So I painted those green and then cut them up and bent them around and made a lot of them. Here you can see a cage here. You can see Belle of Barmera Dahlia. It's a dinner plate right there, about to bloom. A few big buds. They're 7 feet tall. And behind there's one that's over 8 feet tall. Back there. And then this is a nectarine tree, another nectarine tree. They came up as pits. This is an apple tree. Got kale going. So got a neighbor doing some vacuuming on his car. There's another one right there. It's not yet bloomed. So disappointing. Beyond here in the driveway, you can see there's a little green lawn back there, a pathway to walk in between the flower beds. So this was all a big lawn on a 1/4 acre lot, and I tore out the middle of it. And then the edges to make flower beds with, to plant these fruit trees. There's a Macintosh apple. This is a yellow delicious apple tree. And looking upward, in another year or two, the canopies will match or mesh and create a total arch to pass through. Got these gorgeous floor. It's the name of this flower. It's been amazing this year. And then so is this one. I'll have to look up which one this one is. And coming around, this is Lady Darlene. I'm lifting the camera as tall as I can. I'm 6 feet tall. These are 8 feet plus. So are these over here. They're just amazing flowers. An apple tree right there in the middle of the yard. All this is in the middle of the yard. Got me a bronze statue. She's fun to have here. Has some solar lights on her that are colored and light up at night. Glorious, beautiful flowers and blooms. So, let me come back around. There's more kale down here growing. Deer live year-round in the city now. And as soon as it freezes, it won't be long before the deer are in here to eat the kale and they'll strip it gone. Otherwise, Paul from Back to Eden says he comes out and takes and harvests kale from underneath the snow all winter. I could do the same. That bud has to at least be 8.5 feet tall. Now, I'm gonna pass through here. These flowers are going together. I have to part them to get through. Another apple tree. These are certainly happy sunshine colored blooms. Now here's one of those nectarine trees, the back side of it. That came from pits that were thrown out in the wood chips. So I spare the trees when they come up. Now I've actually, a few weeks ago, planted some deliberately. This is again Bella Barmera. I love the color of this dahlia. Those are 8 feet plus. And this is a bud about to open. Same variety, Emery Paul. It's the name of that dahlia. It's going to be ginormous, and it's raspberry colored. This is another one. Look at the stalk. Big, fat, thick, heavy stalk growing. No buds yet on this one, but it would be glorious if it could go. There's another one, not yet bloomed. Sort of a candy cane colored dahlia. This one's a big dinner plate, but those blooms start to get droopy, which is a little bit disappointing. The wind and rain have broken that down. It's a good excuse to clip it and put it into a vase. And another apple tree. Another Bella Barmera. Look at this one. Big, heavy duty. Another one, not yet bloomed. Some more right through here, not yet bloomed. And going south, north. About right back where we started. The zinnias I started indoors from seed, and we've had a drought this year. I believe my more limited watering retarded the growth and progress of the dahlias. The drought seemed to be breaking now in October. We've had rain for some days with a lot of rain in the forecast, when all summer we didn't have any rain. So that's a nice change. Gives hope for growing flowers and fruit next year without watering restrictions. If the same trend of water and snow in the mountains can continue, we'll be fine. So you can't see the house from the street. And last year, the middle flower bed, it had dahlias that I was measuring were 8.5 feet, 103 inches before the frost. And the tree up by the front of the house, I don't know if you can see what's on it. Those are almonds. It's a hardy almond tree that grows in Utah. But if I were to do it again, I would not plant that tree. I would plant a sweet pit apricot tree. Has the same pit, tastes the same, but I'd have rather than a green hull to throw away and discard, I'd actually have an apricot to eat and then just keep the seeds. So this nectarine tree is amazing. We'll see if it's amazing. Some other nectarine trees on this side of the yard, on this side of the driveway. This one had a bunch of beautiful purple fruit on it. Workers here next door, one of them admitted to me a couple days ago that he and his fellow work crew picked and ate a lot of fruit off of this year. I knew someone was doing that, but I couldn't believe he would admit that he's a robber and a thief. Just take something from someone else without asking permission or giving compensation. And I never ordered this dahlia, so sometimes you order them and they come up. As a surprise. It's one my mom likes a lot, so it's awesome for her.